starting on day 3. Hi guys. So today we're gonna, these are short lessons that we just review and build up what we've learned so far. So the past 2 days, we talked about 3 ways to read a book, and then the read to self idea, and how that helps us and benefits us, when reading and things like that. Today we are going to talk about where to sit in the room, and this is very important because we have to make sure that we're sitting in a spot that we can get the most learning in, and it has to be a spot that we feel comfortable in and that we, think we can handle. So I made a chart um, with some ideas on it that you guys have shared with me. Where to sit in a room. The first thing is we should sit away from any distractions. The distractions can keep us from doing our best learning, and when we're reading to ourselves, we want to make sure that we sit in a place where there's no noise that would get us sidetracked. The second one is make sure you sit somewhere that has enough light. Obviously, you want to be able to see the book you're reading and things like that. So make sure you are sitting in a spot in the room that has plenty of light so you can do your very best reading. The third idea is choose somewhere comfy or comfortable. Pick somewhere in the room that you feel the most comfortable. It could be on a carpet, it could be up against the wall. You could grab a pillow from the reading center and use that. It just needs to be somewhere where you feel comfortable and relaxed. Third is away from other students. This is very important because I know some of us in here are social butterflies, and when deciding where to sit in a room for independent reading, we sometimes decide we want to sit with our friends because we think we can talk. But we remember when we talked about read to self, that is something that we do level 1, which is quiet, no talking. So make sure we pick a seat away from our friends so that we won't have the urge to talk, because we can always talk to them at recess and lunchtime. All right, and then the last one, where you do your very best learning. That is so important. So all these things go into where to sit in a room. And I like these things because they were kind of brainstormed by us and by myself. So they're something that relate to our class. We want to make sure that we pick spots that we feel suit us best. Just because your friend Billy is sitting beside a window does not mean you have to sit there. You pick a spot where it's best for you so that you can do your very best reading to yourself. And remember, make sure it's away from any distractions, because we would hate for our reading to be distracted because we were talking to a friend. So let's do some recap on that, and then we're going to practice picking a spot in the room. So let's talk about let's recap the 3 ways for about a minute, the 3 ways to read a book. The first one we did was read with pictures. That's going through using the pictures as a guide to guide your reading. The second one was read with words. That's a traditional way that we've always been taught to read, is read words. And the third way is retelling a previous story, and that is something that comes from memory. That is when you read, you can comprehend what you read and put that in your brain and be able to retell it for someone later. So then we take those concepts and we do read to self activity and what that entails. Read to self activity, we do it because we love it. You guys share with me. You do it because it takes you all these different places, because you get to pick any book that is good for you. We do it because it interests us. It builds our learning. And for read to self, what are the things, if somebody were to come in here, what would they see if we were practicing read to self as part of the Daily 5? They would see everyone is quiet. There's no noise. We're level 1. And they would see everyone spread out in their place to sit that we just talked about. Picking a place to sit. So that's where this idea comes in handy. We need to know how to pick a spot in the room to sit to do independent reading. Okay, so I am going to now I'm going to have one of our classmates to model the demonstration for picking a place in the room, and that comes from improving muscle memory, step number 4, modeling. So if I could have a volunteer to model how to choose a seat in the room, okay? All right, so we see she modeled. She got up, She looked around at the light to make sure that the area she picked was enough light. She made sure that she felt comfy. We saw her situate herself or grab a pillow. We saw her look around to make sure there was no friends there sitting beside her. Okay, that's very good. That's the correct. Now, I would like someone to demonstrate what we call muscle memory step number 5, which is the incorrect model. And someone demonstrate to me the incorrect way to pick a seat in the room. All right, you've done that. Okay, so we see our friend here. He has done not such a good job. He's in the corner. It's kind of dark. He's moving around. He doesn't look very comfortable, and he's talking to his neighbor because they're too close together. So what we could do to fix that, would you show us? Okay, so now he's getting up and he's moving to somewhere more comfortable where there's enough light and where he's away from any distractions. That's an awesome job. Okay, so I would like everyone to practice this for about 3 minutes. We're going to build up our stamina. We're going to build up what we already know. And we're going to practice all 3 things we've learned. We're going to put them all together. We're going to practice the reading to self. Then we're going to practice the 3 ways to read a book. But I want everybody to do way number 2, which is to read with words. Then we're also going to incorporate reading, how to pick a seat in the room. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do that, and then that'll be the end of our lesson, and we'll review the next day. I hope you guys learned a lot about how to pick a seat, and we will start reviewing that now as you pick your book, read it with words, practicing the read to self activities. We're going to improve our muscle memory by practicing all these things we've learned so far, and we're going to pick a seat. And I'm going to go around. I'm going to make sure what you're doing is what we've talked about, and that you're demonstrating appropriate behaviors on how to pick a good seat. And then we will discuss tomorrow's lesson for day number 4.